Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. Good evening to all of you. Sorry for a little delay regarding this, the traffic blocks and all. Uh, we'll move to the subjects directly. This subject called Accounting Information System. Now, word itself, you can understand this is not a management accounting information system. This is a accounting information system. This is a different. Accounting information system is quite different from management accounting system. In management information system, we talk about the management information which are really necessary to top management. But accounting information system, we are talking about the accounting information which we really need for decision making for internal and external people. Therefore, before teach or before define accounting information system, I would like to talk to you few concepts. One is system, one is information, one is accounting. Then after that, altogether about accounting information system. This is a very essential, very important topic or very important subject, uh, especially if you have any idea to study further like in PhD level, or you have any idea to move to the Australia or Canada studying CPA exam, because after completion of your master degree, you can apply for a CPA. CPA mean a chartered professional, certified professional association, CPA, like Australia and Canada. It's stronger than the chartered in locally. It's stronger than the chartered and the CIMA, right? Those two are very accepted in UK, but CPA very essential in countries like Australia, Canada. But once you have a chartered and CIMA also, you can get the CPA exemption. But even you have a MPEC also, very easily you can get MPEC, which especially this accounting information system is one of the core module in the CPA exam. This is not only that, I think in your organization, uh, most of the organizations today, they are running with uh, accounting modules like ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP, maybe sometimes SAP, right? SAP modules. Then the accounting information system is the theory behind the SAP, theory behind the ERP. Then there are some practical aspect also you have more in theories in the first module. Then I would like to talk to you step by step what is accounting information system. Um, you have any questions or any clarification, you can type in chat box or you can directly you can ask from me, no problem. There is no disturbances to me because I am a professional lecturer. I am not a very young lecturer, right? Maybe we will meet one day. We can discuss more. For time savings and especially internet savings, I don't want to uh, open the videos. Even you also no need to open the videos. We can save the data because data is a very costly kind of a things nowadays. Anyway, we'll start the session. Any clarification you need, don't worry. You can ask from me directly because you are a adult students. You all studying for a master degrees. Then you have chances to to ask the question directly. Now, how does information technology impact on accounting? What are the new challenges happening in accounting? Those are the two things you want to understand today. Now, accounting information system, the word itself, you feel like more computers are necessary. But even though without computers, without information technology, the accounting is a system. Accounting is anyway is a system. Is a manually also the accounting is a system. Why I am saying accounting is a system? You all are, most of them are here in accountants, I think. You are working in the accounting organization. Accounting itself is a system because you have some raw data, maybe a transactions or events you insert to the process like double entry system and trial balance. And finally, after the process, you prepare the financial statement like income statement, right? Comprehensive income statement, statement of financial position. Earlier we call balance sheet, cash flow statement. Those statements also the accounting output. To get this financial statement, you need a process, right? To complete the process, you need certain inputs. Therefore, accounting, even you are doing manual, also accounting is a system. Accounting is a full process, it's a system. You have input, process, output. But when the ICT come, information and communication technology, right, with internet and other data, networking and all, with IT, computers, softwares together, things are getting fast. The complex transaction simplify quickly, and the bulky transaction accounting activities are more in the organization, and all these things are getting easy, right? Very easy, right? When you have a more ICT knowledge, fast, speed, accuracy, that is what. How does IT impact to the accounting today? The transactions are more, the bulky transactions are involving, right? The bulky transactions are involving. Then the processing is easier. Processing is a speedily you can do, and with high accuracy also there. That is what nowadays information technology and IT, information technology and ICT, information and communication technology, widely, widely affected to the profession of accounting. Not only the profession of accounting, I think when you go to the medical sciences, when you go and meet the doctors in a hospital, they use in very lot of IT equipment today. They are using lot of technology today to trace the sicknesses of the person or diagnose the problem or sicknesses of the people. For a various profession, right? I think massively, lot of professions, they use information technology or ICT to process uh, their their professionals' work. Even for us, we are accountants, we are accounting professors, you are masters of professional accounting degree program you are studying, then ICT totally affecting to your career path. Therefore, studying accounting information system, IT related subject, very essential in your degrees course or in your degree syllabus. Then it's accepted, right? When you go to the degree certificate, subject list, transcript, you have some accounting information, IT related subjects are there because it's a new in near future. I think accounting information system, simply we call AIS, very popular subject, right? That is currently, timely, very important subject. Studying that subjects also lot of benefits for your career path. What are the new challenges happening in accounting? I think you all know that ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, we call, there are some trademark called SAP. I think even you are working as accounting organization or as accountant or assistant accountant, you always use in SAP, right? That means the software, right? All marketing, purchasing, selling, production, right? Salary payments, everything is get connected to the SAP system. Then easily you whole organization transactions are computerized. I think the SAP is very popular. In addition to that, now blockchain also coming. Blockchain is another we have a double entry system. That's a triple entry system. Blockchain is a triple entry system that is connected to it's a networking, huge networking, shared network we call. We can't change the figures, whatever figures s- going through the system to system like a networking. Those are very trending. Accounting field is changing fast to the IT side, right? That is what you should want to understand. That is a current prevailing situation more in IT related. Then right that's a thing you should want to understand very clearly. That is very very important, right? Now second thing, and here we are going to study here our learning objectives. At the end of this module, you can learn distinguish between data and information, and what are the characteristics of the useful information and value of information. Then I explain the fundamental decisions an organization makes, right? Then understand the best information needed to make them, because you can't make decision without the information, right? I suppose you can hear me. If have some disturbance, tell me. Then identify the transactional information that passes between internal and external parties. Describe the major business processes. Those are very fundamental. You have to think about all everything together. Then explain what is accounting information system, and describe the basic functions, and discuss how AIS can add value to the organization. That is what nowadays, many organizations, they want to contribute, uh, they want to add AIS for their organization system. That is competitive advantage of some value added they can gain. How AIS and corporate strategy affect each other, those things are going to cover in my first topic today. You have any issues, or you can't hear my voice, or any disturbance, please tell, right? Maybe some doing lecturing through Zoom, there are a lot of disturbances are there. Better you can mute your microphone, otherwise I can hear your home activities. You are giving orders to your son, daughter, and some sound from your home, right? And everything you can mute it. I like physical lectures. In near future, we will think about to meet in physically as well. But at the moment, we have to go to the uh, online sessions. Online sessions. Then I'll come back to the introduction part. Right, questions to be addressed in this chapter include what is the what is the meaning of system, data, and information, and what is an accounting information system, that is AIS, right? Why is the AIS important topic to study, and what is the role of the AIS in value chain, right? At the end of the session, you should have answer about these things. Then the lecture is successful. Once I teach you, and at the end, if you can define the system, if you can define the data, if you can define the information, and what do you mean AIS, and why it is important, why you want to study, and what are the value added when you study AIS you have. Those questions, if you can answer, I think you are much better. That's what our final objective. Right. I allow you to record, but recording doesn't mean that, right? It's not a really privilege, and you have to come to the classes. If you without come to the classes, somebody else using recording, I will punish, right? Because that is unethical, right? Suppose that you recording for somebody else, right? That is bad. You can record for your purpose, further studies, because recording is very good. Reusability there. After my lecture, several times you can listen and you can understand. But that purpose is fine. That is exactly good faith. You are doing that one, right? Suppose somebody without coming to the classes, your friends or maybe somebody else telling to you, please record it and hand over to me. I don't come to the classes because Friday evening, it's a very dangerous time. We have many activities, many parties, many, night lives. You are all are sacrificing and coming to the classes. I appreciate. I really appreciate if somebody is misusing recording, that is unethical. They have to pay for that. Carefully, you have to use because you are adults, you are master students, you all are MSc students, the high caliber students, because after that you have only PhDs, right? After PhDs, there is no education in the world. The highest, you are one behind the highest education in the world. Right. Then I will come back to the systems. It's very important to understand what do you mean the systems. Actually, system have a three characteristics. Even your body, my body also system. System have a three characteristic. Maybe you can write down in a small paper, a small notebook. I like if you keep the notebook in addition to the lecture. Maybe you are listening to my lecture by a laptop or maybe a mobile phone. Keep a small notebook, maybe a exercise book. System have a right. I have given right. System have a right. I have given recording facilities to one of the students, but several things are coming several times. Uh, System should have three characteristics. One is, remember, very important one is input, process, output. There are no system in the world without these three characteristics: input, process, output. That those three characteristics are must: input, process, output. What is input? Say your body, we eat, right? And we eat, and it's digested in our process system. And then we have a strength, we have efforts, you can work, you can talk. The body, the human body also the system, right? In your laptop also system, your mobile phone also system. There is a process inside your mobile phone. There is a process inside your laptop. You convert to the power. Power is an input, and you insert certain, you type or you call somebody else, that is input. Process inside the mechanism, and output, somebody listen, you send the mail, you prepare a programming, whatever, right? Everything in this world we look at as a system point of view. That is what initially you want to understand. You have to look at everything at your office. You are as a system because you do job. You can't do the job without somebody's input. Maybe customer come in with certain information or a file, certain files you want to get from some other places, right? You need inputs, some documents, right? You have to do some work. Process is a verb. Certain activities you have to do. And you also giving output, maybe to the customer or a client or someone else. Just listen. In a bank, cashier, the customers come and giving the money. That is input. Cashier count the money and put the stamp and sign or issue the document, right? Then you are giving input. The cashier giving output to the right client. Customer comes and hand over the money with the water bill. The cashier will take it and put it into the system and process it, and all cash receipts and receipts form again issue to the right to the client or the customer. Everything, every job, what you are doing, right? Look at as a system point of view. What are the inputs you have or you are getting to do your job, and how you are processing and what output you are giving. That is very, very important. No, I have given the recording. So you are the one who recording this meeting. No, no, somebody else who took my consent to record it, right? I think in the evening around 5:30, some students call me and get the rights. I suppose he's recording, right? But forget about if you can't record, I don't want to record it, right? But definitely somebody is recording, don't worry, right? Because why you want to record, but you can listen today, right? That is enough. Recording is a bad thing. If it's a good faith, no problem, right? For reuse and study purpose or sharing absent students, that is not a good thing, right? I think the recording powers given, we'll see. Somebody asked the recording. I didn't remember the name of the student. Okay, doing a recording. We'll see. Uh, stop record. Yeah, stop recording can post recording rights given. Mama lecture reaction, raise and support, start focus mode, share sound, meeting information. Uh, yes, stop recording can that mean I have given the share sound. Yeah, any issues? Maybe two students try to get sometimes, I don't know. Any issues about recording, please ask, right? Right. Anyway, I will go back again about the system. System should have a three characteristic: input, process, output, right? Input you get from someone else, and you are the one processing. Processing is activity, verb, and you also giving output to the another person. Your output for another person as an input. Again, he is doing a processing and he is also making output to the another group of person or another person or another man. This is input, process, output mechanism. And one system is connected to the another system. That means you have input, process, output. Your job is connected to the another person. Another person. These are interconnected. All systems are interconnected. An organization as a whole big system. And people inside the organization, they also doing work. They also small system. We call subsystems, right? Organization, say you're working as a company, say bank, assume bank get the customer's deposit as an input, right? Then the banks, they use that deposits for another activities as a loan. Their output wise, they are giving loan to the customers. Input also there, process also there, process is inside the bank, and they also giving output to the customers and other people. Input, process, output in a bank as a whole, right? Then the people who are inside the bank, clerks, officers, right, managers, they also have an input, process, output, because each and everybody has to do some job. They are working in the organization. Then they are getting input from the inside the people, outside the people, and they processing, and they are after processing, they also giving their output. Maybe they sign the check or documents, check the documents. Say your job is audit. Then you get some more inputs, some vouchers, some other kind of forms and invoices, etc. You check. Your checking is a process, right? Checking is a process. You check the accuracy and kind of things. And after check it, you audit it, you seal it, audit it, or check, you sign, and that is your output. You are giving to the somebody else, right? Every job, every work in your organization, right? Look your job, right? Say you are a teacher. Then you have some inputs. You read the books, get the notes, prepare the class notes, or you read some government organization test books, etc. You get the notes, you prepare, and you go to the class. You deliver. After your processing, you understanding all calculation and all, you deliver. Delivering, your lecturing is output. You get in my case, I study the book, I study the notes, I prepare the PowerPoint slides, all inputs I get from various books, and I prepare it. That is my process. Now I am a deliver my output for you. Even teacher, even the manager, even the clerk, even the executive, even the peon, all have a input process output mechanism. That is we call system, because process is very important, right? Different processes. Processes are verbs. It can be a calculating, it can be a check sign, right? It can be a vouching, it can be a adding, subtracting, deducting, right? Many things inside the process you can find out. You get input, you have a process, you have an output. Now this process we call system. Then most systems are composed of a smaller subsystems. Say bank as a system, there are small division. Even the division also subsystem. Now university accounting department is a subsystem. Welfare is another system. Dean faculty is another system. In your organization, selling or marketing is a division, it's a subsystem, right? Even person also the unique micro level system. People are doing similar tasks, selling group, marketing team, that division also the system, subsystem, accounting, payment, salary payment also the another system, manufacturing also the another system, manufacturing also another system. You can see a lot of systems, right? Subsystems, systems, big system inside the one organization, many division also system, under division, people also the subsystems, subsystem likewise, the whole world we look at as a system point of view, right? That is the number one. In accounting, you can study very easily if you look at the system point of view. Because accounting, transactions, events, then the vouchers, invoices, purchase orders. Those are our initial documents, credit slip, debit slips. Those are our inputs. And all these inputs we enter to the ledger. Ledger system is a system, sub process. We enter the ledger, it's a process. We prepare the trial balance process. We made an adjustment process. We prepare a financial statement. Financial statement is our output. That is go to another group of people, internal, external data. In accounting, not only accounting is a medical science also, engineering, production engineering also, they look at the system point of view. System concept is a very common for a professional education. You all are studying for a higher studies. You have to look at, after today itself, we want to look at your work as a system, because you have three things. You are doing some job at your office. For that you want input. Without input you can't do your job. After your job you are giving some output, that is go to another person's input, right? You have to look at that way. Now, go to the further for this. This is vice versa mean smaller subsystem. Most systems are composed smaller subsystems and vice versa connected together. Every organization has a goals. Systems, you make a systems to achieve the organization goals. The subsystem should be designed to maximize achieve of the organization goals. Now you are working in the marketing division. Marketing division have a goal to increase the market sales, get more sales value. Say accounting, you are working as a payment system, right? Purchasing and all procurement, you have to payments. Then your objective is without a customer complaint, maintain the good payment system. All subsystems in your organization, a small division, assume those are subsystem, right? Those subsystems have their own goals, own objectives. The systems are preparing to achieve the goals. The subsystem should be designed to maximize achieve of the organization goals. Even you as a person, you have goals. You are working in the organization, earn money, maybe promotion, or maybe getting more experience and leave into the another organization. Everybody, every division, every section, this is very, very common thing. Keep silent for a minute. Think about that, right? Your division or objective. You are working in the organization in a some particular division, particular section. What is it's implied. There is a no written document. This section objective, this section goal is this, but it is implied. Implied. It can be efficiency, or it can be a saving cost. It can be a less customer complaints, or maximize the profit, maximize the sales. Every division you are working, that particular division have a certain goals. Those are nothing written, but that is the purpose of organization to establish those division. The division is a subsystem. Every subsystem have a goals, right? Please think that one, that is very, very essential, right? So very essential, right? Anything you want to ask, please ask, right? Because it is very essential to understand the initial things, because you can't leave the ideas which I gave to you. These are philosophical idea, because without knowing this philosophical idea, you can't master the degree. Now you are going to master. This is not undergraduate. Undergraduate is a very space, very, very simple things. Nothing go in depth. But in master, you are learning something in very depth manner. Now, I told you, you as a person is a system, we call subsystem. Your division also the subsystem, and your organization also the subsystem, and whole country as a system, right? Suppose you are working in the ministry, government ministry is a system, and your department is a subsystem of the ministry, and the ministry is a subsystem of the Sri Lanka as a country whole. We all have a, something bigger than us. We are the small system, right? You as a person is a system, but your family is another system. It's a bigger than your system. Then you are a subsystem of the family. Family is a, right, connected to the many families, right? Likewise, you have to very broad thinking. You want to gather right now, right? If you have that broad thinking, philosophical thinking, easy to understand the lot of concepts, lot of theories. There should be a, some theoretical part you want to improve yourself. You have to enhance your philosophical thinking. I am a system. Then my family also system. Then where we work, your organization also, your division also system, the subsection. uh, Then that is also system with the organization as a whole, right? Then subsystems, then the whole system, big system, and there is another. Every system is a subsystem of the another system. That is the final point. Every view is a system in your division, right? U is a subsystem of the division. Division is the subsystem of the right entire organization. Organization subsystem is the sometimes a ministry level or maybe as a country level, right? Or all the conglomerate may be a big organization, right? You have to think about that because when you think that way, I am a subsystem of the another system, then very important thing is interrelated things you study. Concept is interrelated. You can't do anything alone, right? This is my car, my petrol is a very, very cool concept, right? Even you can say, this is my car, my petrol. Then who is giving the salary to you to get the fuel? Fuel come from the, right? Another ministry or another petroleum corporation. That organization is another system, connected to another system. We all are, right, are linked, interrelated, integrated to the another systems. That is what the beauty of the system concept. If you know this one, very easily you can understand the system is what. System is what. Without knowing system, I think you and me can't live in this world. We are losing, right? Sometimes we think we are now great, right? Now what happened to the present government, right? They don't listen to others. They think we are great, we are great. We got majority of the votes. Huh? Everybody voted. Now we have more than two-thirds, right? Now they think too much thinking. But what happened? Donald Trump introduced the reciprocal tax, we down, right? Now Sri Lanka, we are subsystem of the World Trade Organization or a world entire world, Earth, right? The America also the subsystem of the other countries as a whole. Each country is a subsystem. Without those organization, those countries, we can't do job. We can't do our activities. We can't eat today. We can't live today. All are integrated, interlinked. Once you learn this concept, you respect to the people, right? You respect to the everybody because you know you can't live without them because we are interconnected, interlinked. You can think if I have a money, I can do all. No, you can't do sometimes certain things, even though you have a money, right? There is a limited period, right? You want to earn money, then you earn with another. You have to join to the organization. You need a job. Job is right. You are doing a job with input output process. Other people are connected with you. Now, right? This is the concept. Accounting is go through it today, right? But we are dealing with the subsystems. We can't think of the entire thing in the world, right? But we have some scope of the study. But this concept you want to study carefully. This is not a just input, process, output, right? You get input, you process output, that output goes to another person as input, and he do some processing, another output. This is connected to another organization, another person, another places, local, international. These are integrated, interrelated, right? Depend on others. These all things are looks like that. That is called system concept. Once you know system concept is a very beautiful concept. It's a beautiful philosophy. Then you know you customers comes to you, without them maybe your organizations are loose, employees are there, maybe your subordinators are necessary, otherwise you can't do your job properly. You get input from various way, maybe in other government organization, tax department, right, another auditor general department, audit department. These are all circulars from various organizations. We have to work with all that. They are also subsystem. You also subsystem. You are subsystem of the main system. They also subsystem of their main system. The subsystem to subsystems are interrelated, interconnected. So all system have an input, process, output. That beauty you should want to understand. And every subsystem have their own goals, right? On objectives. Sometimes system is a slow, right? Now, people asking recently, you remember the system change. System change mean the present system they want to change, but if nothing happened, I think system is further clash. From my point of view, the people expecting a new system, I don't feel new systems are coming. And now the system is very slow, even to detriment of the subsystem itself, right? That is what you have to understand. The production department is a subsystem of a company. Simple idea. I went to the more philosophical part. Now I am coming to the organization level to understand, but always think about the philosophical way as well, right? But in a company point of view, production department is a subsystem of a company, might have to forego its goal of staying within its budget in order to meet the organization goal of delivering product on time. That is, suppose production department have their own objectives to produce the product and delivering product on time to the customer. If they don't do that one, quality product on time, right place, right person, if they can't do that, right? If they don't do that, their objectives they are not fulfilling. That department goals not fulfilling. Their input, process, output, that subsystem is slow. Subsystem have some deficits. Subsystem have a corruption. Subsystem have, right? Even subsystem is a slow also, you are not achieve the goals. Now, the last time people thought systems are corrupted. Systems are corrupted. Hilane මිනිස්සු අලුත් ආණ්ඩුවකට දෙන systems are corrupted. Now system is slow. System is too slow. Even slow also, right? You can't achieve the goal. Even corrupted also you can't achieve the goal. Slow also you can't achieve the goal because efficiency is not there. Then somebody's get failed. Somebody can't get the real input for their job, right? And they can't achieve the objectives of their department. This all are you have to very carefully think. Now you are a big students rather than somebody else. Mass students are very independent students. After I talk to you all these things, you have to read, understand, think. Carefully read several times, right? I am a system. My division also system. I am working in the production department. One of the subsystem of the main system. Accounting is another subsystem. Out of the company main system. My system is slow. My system is not achieve the goals. Then the entire organization get affected. Then entire country get affected. Right? That is what at finally we lose. Then system have a two characteristics. I said essentially input, process, output there, and organization having system, subsystem have their own goals also, because these goals are conflict. Goal conflict, goal congruence. Goal congruence mean they Stick together. Concurrence means stick together. Everybody in the division, everybody in the particular production department, they work together, right? Achieve their objectives. Goal concurrence, stick together. Goal conflict mean they are fighting each other. No, 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 this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. Then they can't achieve the goal. Then again, system failure. System failure mean reason is that, right? System failure mean power cut. It's not a power cut. System failure mean goal conflicts among the people, among the division, people among the subsystem. They are fighting each other. Nothing get through. The system concepts encourage integration. Integration means combination, right? When you combine many systems together, you can minimize the duplication of recording, storing, reporting, and processing. Because, right, subsystem maintaining, right, then other system no need to, right? Now, we'll see good example. Passport office, right? Now, it's a big issue now. Everybody says it's a getting delay. Getting a passport is a big queue, right? You have to waste 2, 3 nights sometimes. Very recently, lot of issues people had about getting passport, but still that issue is there, right? No solution. Reason what? Some kind of a duplications are rising. Grama Niladhari, he has to give a certification and you need a photographs and then you have to wait for another document, a birth certificate, marriage certificate, some other kind of a ID card copies and all. Why all these things can't be get connected, integrated? Suppose Grama Niladhari, that is the smallest unit in the country, Grama Niladhari, Grama Sevaka Vasam. That person, he get your ID card copy from the phone, right? From the phone, application also from the phone, suppose no laptop, right? Then directly sent into the immigration office, right? Then immigration office, he are already certified and sending immigration people rather get those documents through internet, right? Through web, through networking and do the job. There are some things you can connect it. Storing, reporting, processing, recording. There are something you can think about. The today, what happened, everything is duplicate, right? Whatever the ministries, that ministry also you have a say the birth certificate issued by the right birth certificates issuing department, right? Now you go and take the copy and come back to the passport office. Why they can't issue directly in this? There is a no system directly. They can't issue to the passport office. That kind of things, there are things we have to think, right? Integration concepts is very essential. Encourage when the system concepts are there. That is computerization also easy. Storing, reporting, no duplication. You can avoid duplication. Duplication avoiding is very easy. Data are facts that are collected, recorded, stored, and processed by an information system. Now, I will come back to the information system. Now, first I said system. System as a general system. Now I'm back to the information system. Yeah, you can say human body also system. Right? Now I am coming to the some specific system information. Information system mean you provide the information to make decision. To make decision, you want to convert the data to the meaningful ideas. Data mean looks like example, say 25 is a data. But I say that my student, Say here there are so many students. Most of the students in my AIS class is around 25 years old. It is information. Most of the students in my class, right, around 25 years old. කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වයස අවුරුදු 25 ආසන්නව ඉන්නවා. That is information. Just 25? What is 25? What is 25? There is no meaning of the data itself, no mean. Data we should want to convert to the information. You have to collect the data. You can record the data for a future use. And you want to store the data for a future use. And you have to process the data for a information. Right? All data what you collected, right? Now say 250,000. No idea. But 250,000 monkeys, we have surveyed this particular district. Right? That is process information. Right? Data you convert to the information. Information is a meaningful things. Data is a fact. Then any questions you have, you please ask. Organization collects data about three things. These three things are very, very important, right? Otherwise, accounting information you can't study. This is we call, right? These three we call, there's a word we have. One is you collect the data about the event. You collect the about the, right, resources. We call RVA, right? R mean data about resources, data about event, data about agent. R, right? REA. ලියා ගන්න REA. R කියන්නේ resources. We need a data about the resources. We collect the data. Resources mean our stocks, our sales, our cash, our inventory, our assets. Resources. We have a resources. Changes of the resources. Data about the resources. Event. Event mean siddhi. You sell the stocks, you purchase the vehicle, you purchase the inventory, you sell the inventory, right? Those are event. Event is a transaction. Agent. Agent is a people, internal and external people in the organization involving. Customers are external, employees are internal. People, agents also involving when you are doing a transaction, right? In always we collect the data, even your organization, even my organization, even our job. You have to think about that. All information, all data we collected based on three things. Are resources, event and agent. Data collect කරන්න ඔය තුන පදනම් කරා. REA. That is very, very essential thing, REA. Right? Keep in your mind, we collect data about resources changes in our organization. We collect the data about the events. Event can siddhi, purchasing, selling and all. And we collect the data about the people or agent. Agent mean people who are involving with the events and resources. Information is different from data. Data is a fact. 25 is a data, but 25 your age is a information. Information is a data that have been organized, processed, and provide meaning to a user. It's a meaningful idea. Information is a meaningful idea. Usually, more information, better decision. Some people call. But now it is not right. More information, better and better information translate into better decision. Rather than the more information today, Better information. Effective information, very important for a decision, better decision. Sometimes you have more information, your information overload, right? But if we have a proper, relevant, and very effective information, information means not a data. Data we translate to the information. You need information for decision making. Remember again, data you collect about three things of the organization. Once you collect the data, you converted this data to the information. Information you need better decision. I will give you example. Suppose you event is you sell the goods, right? When you sell the goods, your resources, inventory reduce, cash resources increase, right? When you sell the goods, බඩු වික්කොත් අපේ ඉන්වෙන්ටරි එක අඩු වෙනවා, එක රිසෝස් එකක් අඩු වෙනවා, තව රිසෝස් එකක් වැඩි වෙනවා. Sales නිසා inventory එක you reduce the inventory, cash going up. Then resources change. One resources reduce, another resources increase because of the event of sales. Then people involved. Sales you did for a customer, right? Then the person who did the sale, internal employee. Now, these are the transaction. This is a data. Now you have a data, right? That all these data you convert to the information. How much of the sales, cash sales, how much of the inventory left, how much cash you increases, right? Who are the people involving, right? Now those are all data you convert to the decision. Then the end of the day, yes, cash sales, credit sales, we have all information to make the decision. Data versus information. Now you can see very nice here, this case. This is a data. You have a date. You have ABC company. You have 123. You have a 99.3. You have a Sri Lankan rupees 20,000, 60,000, all data you have. Data is a fact. Could be a number, date, name, and so on. Data are facts stored in a system. අපිට ඒක system එකක් ඇතුලේ process එකක දාලා තියන්න පුළුවන්. මේක data එකක්. How you converted this data to the information? Look, this is the information. This is an invoice. The previous slide just showed facts, data. If we put those facts within a context of sales invoice, for example, it is a meaningful and considered information. Invoice date, invoice number, customer name, item number they sold, quantity 3, price 20, total amount 60,000. Individually, separately, these numbers and the facts and dates are just data. But when you combine with certain meaningful idea, it became a information. This is a very invoice data is a very meaningful information for a sales recording part. I suppose you are okay. System data and information, however, when you get more information, then you can effectively assimilate, you suffer from information overload. If you have more information, you are not compiling all information properly, definitely you lose. You lose. Because you don't have you are overload. Too much information. Too much information is not practical. You want information, very effective information for effective decision. Example, final exam. Suppose you just come to the classes, you didn't study one by one. Normally my lecture, after my lecture, you want to study another 2-3 hours. Everybody, right? Once you start the MSc, you have some homework, right? Just listen and don't go home and come back another week. This is your second week, I assume that. What you want to do is, first week work, you have to get a few hours study. Today after my class, today or day after tomorrow you have a classes. Maybe a Sunday or one weekday, 2, 3 hours. You have to spend and read my PowerPoint, and I will give the test book also. Then you can LMS, I will post the test book, right? AIS test book is a very familiar one, right? Then you can download and read the first chapter. There is a very prescribed textbook, Romani, Accounting Information System. Romani is a well-known. I have a PDF version of the total book, that is 550 pages of that book. First chapter I am talking to you today. Then you have to read and study carefully. When you have reached the overload point, the quality of decision declines, while the cost of producing the information increases. Actually, information is a cost today. Data is available with you for day-to-day activities. You collect the data. This data you have to transform to the meaningful information. For that, you need a compiling process, information, right? To get the information, you need a various people, accountant, accounts clerk, assistant accountant, and the other people, all data day to day you have. They compile, these are the sales, these are the credit sales, then credit sales you have receivable. These are the money you have to collect from the people within certain period. These are all informations they do. That is costly, you have to pay for them. Now, value of information is my second objective. Value of information. Benefit of information mean cost of producing information divided by value of information. Right? Suppose value more answer is a more than one. Value of information is bigger than the cost of producing information. That is really good. That is benefit. Sometimes your value is very less, but cost is very high. That is not good. Benefit of information may include, you can see here, right? One, cost may include time and resources spent. Cost and benefits of informations are often difficult to quantify. Sometimes, it's not a figure out. But you need to try when you are making decisions about whether to provide information. Always we assume value of information is bigger than the cost of producing information. Cost of producing mean you need a time to collect the data, you need a money to convert the data to the information. Value means based on this information, you can make a big decision, profitable decision. Always you have to compare cost of producing information and value of information. This is very easily you can see here in my example. Benefits of information may include proper decision. More money you can earn, right? You can earn more profits based on this information. Proper decisions you can make, right? If you have a good information, you can do that one. Good information coming with data, then good data, you have to convert to the information. For that, you need a cost. You have to pay money to convert the data to the information. Then value should be more than that. That is what we mention here. Cost may include time and resources spent. What makes information useful? This is very important. Why you want? What is the importance of the information? There are 7 general characteristics that make information useful. Because we all working with today, you as a person, you develop the information for making a data. Maybe at your office, you convert the data to the information. You are the processor. You get data as input, you convert data to the processing the data and giving information to another person to make decision. Maybe yourself make the decision. Our job is always, right, information, right? We create the information, useful information to make decision. There are 7 general characteristics that make information useful. That information should be relevant. Information is not relevant, the relevant time, relevant period, relevant, right, situation, that information became old. Old information useless. Information need to make a decision. Example, the decision to extend customer credit would need relevant information on customer balance from accounts receivable, aging report. That means you need our accounts receivable, debtors. How old our debtors? Not really. The amount of the debt or maybe some debtor amount. 5 year old, still you are not receivable. You didn't get it. Some are 1 month old. That debt is 1 month old. Some are 2 months old. Debt amount, right? Not the person's old. 1 month old debt, 2 month old debt, 1 year old debt, 5 year old debt. You want that aging report, debtors aging report, whether you are going to extend the customer credit or not. That should be relevant data. Relevant data very essential, right? Now, relevant. Why you need a new government? All, right? All things you don't want to, right? Again, telling all things rather than doing anything new, useless. So you get the new people to do something new, quick things, not the remembering all things again and again, right? That is something like previous people also did, same thing these people also doing. Reliable. Reliable mean information free from bias. Very important. Some informations now say when you listen to the Derna News, ITN News, Sirasa News, Hiru News, all news media, TV programs, news media, newspapers, or internet, social media, all are biased today. In Sri Lanka, all. You can't say anything unbiased media you don't have. We also trapped today. We get caught. There is a no free information, unbiased information you also don't have, I also don't have. Because we listen social media. That is fully biased. Certain parties, political parties, permanently, there are some employees they have to handle the Facebook and this all social medias. Those are highly biased to their parties. I'm not say one particular party, all parties, they have a particular group of people, salaried, paying salary, monthly salary. Their job is mislead all, even the comments also. They have a permanent group of people to change the comments, right? Whether it's a bad or good, they do their job. Those are biased information. Today, no one can get independent, unbiased information. We all in a trap. Whatever the government comes, we are in the trap. We don't have reliable information. It's not a reliable at all. Any information. Read the newspapers, biased. Read the social medias, highly biased. Go and listen, watch the TV programs, news, totally biased. Information free from bias, very essential. That is called reliable. We don't have any reliable information. Even you ask some information about your friends, you think it's reliable? No, he's also biased sometimes. Complete. It's a full package, full aspects, full knowledge you want to get. Does not omit important aspect of the events or activities. Most of the information today, some important thing is omit. Important aspect is omit. Right? That's not a complete things. Some important things omit or a hide. Not complete information. Another one is timely information, right? All informations now you can't use because that time period gone. You want relevant in-time information to make the decision. Remember, information is relevant to the decision, right? If you want to extend the credit limit of the people, then his age is necessary. Reliable, unbiased information, and complete rather than the omit. Full set of information without omitting, without eliminating, without hiding part. Timely, in-time information. Another one is verifiable. You should have a, right? Verifiable mean the information you can verify from two sources. Say when you listen to the Hero News, maybe it's right, but that is a problem. We can't verify. All news media in Sri Lanka are biased. Then this news, whether this is true or not, you don't have another source to verify. Even newspapers information also biased. Otherwise, sometimes my friends they watch international news about Sri Lanka. And because Sri Lankan news are very biased, then they listen international. Like BBC, they also bias. BBC, Al Hajra, they also bias. They also telling about our country, their point of view. Our people also bias. They also bias. There are not two sources whether to verify the data, whether this data is right or wrong. Two independent people can produce the same conclusion that is called verifiable. In accounting, we can do sometimes. Say you can verifiable, right? Maybe systems also recorded, we solve the information and the document also the particular people sign. That is also we have that signature also you can verify, right? Then you can verifiable the data. Then understandable. Understandable mean information must be presented in a meaningful manner. Information must be presented in a meaningful manner, understandable manner. Accessible, available when needed. Informations are available when needed. That is also accessible, very important. Information is provided to both. We provide the information to the external users and internal users. External users mean inside the organization people we call internal users. Managers, accountants who are working inside the organization. External mean government organization, taxation department. Suppose you are a private organization. Maybe customers, utility providers like a municipal, right? Especially tax authorities, revenue right tax authorities, external users outside the organization. External users, it's a must, you have to provide the information. Primary use information that is either mandatory and essential information. External users like government, tax department, Security Exchange Commission, those are mandatory information. Otherwise, they can punish you. They can make penalty. They can enforce penalty to you. Those are mandatory. You can't avoid. EPF, ETF, mandatory. Right? And organization director board changes, Security Exchange Commission, you have to inform. Some are essential. Essential mean not a mandatory. Atyavashya saha anivarya. Mandatory is anivarya information. Essential is atyavashya. Required to conduct the business with external parties such as purchase order, invoices, purchase order you raise to the procurement procedure. Essential in without purchase order, without invoice from the salesperson, right? You can't handle the organization activities, right? And debit slip, credit slip, vouchers, right? Some people who got the cash, they sign the right documents and hand over essential information to maintain the accounting function. In providing mandatory or essential information, the focus should be minimize cost. You can minimize the cost. I think computerization is the good process. When you computerize, automatically you can minimize the cost. Minimize the cost. Because those are essential, those are mandatory, right? If you can find a digitalized system, much better. Meeting the regulatory requirements. Regulatory requirements. Because mandatory means there is a law. You have to follow this regulatory requirement. Meeting the minimum standards of reliability and usefulness. Meeting minimum standards of reliability and usefulness. Internal users mean people who are inside the organization. They can use discretionary information, right, from their own way. The primary focus in producing this information is ensuring that benefit exceed cost. Always you have to think about that, right? You want to get more benefits, more value than the cost, right? The information has a positive value that is good for a decision making, right? Suppose you want to buy a uh, new building, then you have to think about the good information about the land prices and all, then you can get a good decision. If you don't have a knowledge about the land prices, building prices, you can't make a good decision. Sometimes you get caught. Sometimes information, good information, very essential to the good decision. Organizational decisions and information needed. Business organizations use business processes to get things done. These processes are set of structured activities that are performed by people, machines, or both to achieve a special goal. That is, we call organization structure. The top management, assistant manager, first CEO, then operational executive, managers, assistant managers, subordinators, that kind of a structure, right? Organization maintain to work in the organization, responsibility they divided. Key decisions and information needed often come from these business processes. Always business processes mean I told you input, process, output. Everybody under system concepts, they get input, they do processes. After that, output is there. After every processes, you can find out the output. There are many processes in the organization. You want some information to process, right? The process can be verb beka. අපි එක එක ක්‍රියාවලීන් කරන්න ඕන ආයතනයක වැඩ කරලා. Purchasing is a process. When you want to do the purchasing procedure, there are some inputs you want. You want tenders, you want a right quotation, you have to call people, send the prices, those inputs you want to process and find out the good uh, procurement person. The business organization conduct business transactions between internal and external shareholders. Always, right? Every organization, they do business transaction. With internal people mean you as a inside the organization, external people, external stakeholders mean customers, purchasing of people outside companies who produce the goods to us and selling for customers, and all external stakeholders mean outside interested groups. Internal stakeholder, this is not a shareholder, this is a stakeholder. Difference between shareholder is owner, stakeholder mean interested parties. Stakeholders mean interested parties. Internal stakeholders are employees in the organization, managers and employees. External mean, right, outside people. External stakeholders are trading partners such as customers, vendors, Vikunumkaru, as well as government organization, other external organizations such as banks and government. They are stakeholder. External stakeholder mean external interested groups. Stakeholder mean interested groups. Accounting information system, in short we call AIS, captures the flow of information between these users for the various business transaction. Suppose you as an internal stakeholder, employee of the organization, customer is external stakeholder. In between, you have a transaction, customer and you, right? For that, there are a lot of informations are flowing. We have to capture that information. That is the part of the AIS. Now, I will make a little time to you. You can read this small case study and tell us, right, what decision do they need to make to be successful and profitable? What information do Scott and Susan need to make those decisions? What business processes are needed and how should they be carried out? පොඩ්ඩක් මේ කේස් එක කියවන්න මම විනාඩි 10ක් විතර ඔයගලන්ට දෙන්නම්. right? මේ කේස් ස්ටඩි එක පොඩ්ඩක් කියවලා යට තියෙන උත්තර වැරදුනාට කමක් නැහැ. පොඩ්ඩක් හිතමු අපි මොනවද කරන්න කියලා. For a minute please think. Okay, then I will move to the discussion. Maybe I will read for you. Can you hear me? ඇහෙනවද මාව?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. After working 4 years as a regional manager for retail organization, Scott Perry opened his own business with Susan Gonzalez. One of his district managers as his partner. They formed SNS, the company name, to sell appliance and consumer electronics. Scott and Susan pursued a click and bricks strategy by renting a building in a busy part of town and adding a electronic storefront. මේකේ click and bricks කියලා කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය ව්‍යාපාරය. bricks කියලා කියන්නේ ගඩොල්. clicks and mortar කියලා කිව්වොත් e-commerce computer එකෙන් eBay වගේ බඩු විකුණනවා නම් Temu eBay වගේ බඩු විකුණනවට කියනවා clicks and mortar. mortar එකක් තියෙන්නේ. mortar කියලා කියන්නේ මේ machine එක. clicks and bricks කියලා කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය rent house කරපු building එකක්. Scott and Susan invested enough money to see them through the first 6 months. They will hire 15 employees within the next 2 weeks. 3 to stock the shelves, 4 sales representatives, 6 checkout clerks, and 2 to develop and maintain the electronic storefront. Scott and Susan will host SNS grand opening in 5 weeks. To meet the deadline, they have to address the following important issues. What decision they need to make the successful and profitable? What information do Scott and Susan need to make those decisions? What business processes are needed and how should they be carried out? අපි last එකෙන් පටන් ගමු. Business processes mean they want purchasing the goods, electronic item to sell. Procurement. That is the first business process. Procurement. They want to sell the goods. They want to keep the inventory stores. They want to do promotion. Right? Those kind of things we call business processes. Because they have to work out. Stocks ගන්න ඕන, inventory තියාගන්න ඕන, purchase කරන්න ඕන, විකුණන්න ඕන, promote කරන්න ඕන, සේවකයන්ට පැඩි ගෙවන්න, salary payments, so many employees are there. Those are we call business processes, the work they want to do. For doing this business process, අපි second එකට ගියොත් what information do they need? They want various information for procurement, purchasing goods, selling goods, right? Pricing information, right? Especially routine decision, right? There are so many type of decisions they want to take. අපි බලමු උත්තරේ මෙතන තියෙනවා අපි ළඟ. ඊළඟ ස්ලයිඩ් එකට ගියාම මේකට උත්තරේ අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා. මේ තියෙන්නේ business processes, key decision, information, needs. අර උත්තර තුනම මෙතන තියෙනවා. business process තමයි acquire capital, acquire building and equipment, hire train employees, acquire inventory, stocks ගන්න ඕන, advertising, marketing, promotion, sell goods, sell merchandise, collect payments from customers, pay salaries to the employees. ඔය තමයි business processes කියලා කියන්නේ. last question එකට උත්තරේ. processes කියන්නේ ක්‍රියාවලිය. ව්‍යාපාරික ක්‍රියාවලින් අපි විසින් සිදු කළ යුතු වැඩ. මේ ඔක්කොම ක්‍රියාවන්. ඒතර මේ acquire capital ගන්න නම් අපි how much අපේ decisions තියෙන්න ඕන. Find the investors or borrow funds from banks. If borrowing, obtain a best terms, best interest rate. The information අපිට ඕන වෙනවා how much ගන්න නම් cash flow projection. කොච්චර විකුණන්න පුළුවන්ද අනාගතේ. Proforma financial statement අපි ගාව තියෙනවා budgeted information financial statement income statement balance sheet බැංකුවට පෙන්නන්න. Loan amortization schedule loan එකට ගෙවන්නේ කොහොමද කාලෙන් කාලට installment. Acquire buildings and equipment size of building. Amount of equipment, rent or buy, location, how much to depreciate. What capacity needs, building equipment price, market study. Hire and train employees, experience requirements. How to assess integrity and competency of applicants. Integrity කියන්නේ හරි වැදගත් integrity කියන එක. ඔය වංචා දූෂණ නැති කියන එක තමයි integrity කියන්නේ. How to train employees. That acquire inventory, what models of purchases, how much to purchase applicants, electronic equipment, how to manage inventory, store control, which vendor, the market analysis, inventory status report them band, body business you need information needs, key decisions, business processes. කිසිම ජොබ් එකක් කරන්න බෑ බිස්නස් එකක් කරන්න බෑ මේ කරුණු වලින් තොරව. ඒක තමයි මේක ඉගෙන ගන්න මේ AIS එකේදී පොඩි පහළ තැන ඉඳන් ඉහළට යනකම් ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඉතින් පොඩි ව්‍යාපාරයක් කරද්දී මේ තොරතුරු ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා මේව ඕන කියලා. නමුත් මේව කැටගරයිස් කරන්න දන්නේ නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලෝ. මොන decisions මොන information එකද ඒ decision එකට ඕන decision ගන්න බෑනේ without information. When you have a cash flow projection, you can decide how much capital you need. If you do the market analysis, you know what are the products you can sell, right? When you do cost analysis, you can understand which media you use and promote the product, right? Those kind of information you need to make a decision to continue the business processes. Right? You need information for making a decision to continue the business process. You need information to make decision. To continue the business processes. The main interaction between AIS and internal and external parties. කොච්චර විද්‍යාත්මක කරුණු ටිකක් අද ඕගොල්ලෝ සැටර්ඩේ නයිට් ඉගෙන ගත්තද කියලා. ඒක විභාගයට වැදගත්, ජීවිතයට වැදගත්, ව්‍යාපාරයක් රන් කරන්න වැදගත්. ඉහළට මාස්ටර් ඩිග්‍රී අරන් ඉහළට ගියාම CEO ලා වෙනකොට යූස් කරන්න වැදගත්. මේක මේ කියන chart එක මාර වැදගත්. කුඩා කතාවේදී මේව හිතට එන්නේ නැහැ. මොන තොරතුරු පළවෙනි අවස්ථාව අමාරුයි පොඩි පොඩි කේසස් මම ගොඩක් කරනවා පස්සේ. Information needs, decisions and business processes. තව ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔතන business processes. මේ business processes මේ විදිහට හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන්. The accounting information system එකක් අපේ if you want to introduce the accounting information system to the SNS අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා case study එකට because accounting information system mean internal and external parties interaction between AIS and internal and external parties. AIS එකක් ඕන වෙන්නේ accounting information system එකක් ඕන වෙන්නේ අභ්‍යන්තර සහ බාහිර පාර්ශවයන් සමග interaction ඇති කරන්න. එකිනෙක සම්බන්ධතා ඇති කරගන්න. එකිනෙක සම්බන්ධතා තහවුරු කරගන්න අභ්‍යන්තර සහ බාහිර පාර්ශවයන් සමග සම්බන්ධතා තහවුරු කරගන්න තමයි AIS එකක් ඕන වෙන්නේ. දැන් බලන්න මේකේ දකුණු පැත්තේ තියෙන එකයි වම් පැත්තේ තියෙන එකයි මොනවද කියලා. just check දකුණු පැත්ත සහ වම් පැත්ත. පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න. දකුණු පැත්තයි වම් පැත්තයි තියෙන ඒවා. Right hand side you have external parties and internal parties දෙපැත්තටම මාරු වෙලා තියෙනවා. Customers, vendors කියලා කියන්නේ ගැනුම්කරු, customer කියන්නේ විකුණුම්කරු. Those are both of them are external parties. Employees එක internal party. Investors ආයතනයේ අයිතිකරුවෝ ඒගොල්ලොත් internal parties. Creditors external party. Management internal party. ඉතින් අන්තිමට තියෙනවා මොකද තියෙන්නේ? banks, government and banks. දැන් බලන්න මේකේ එහෙම කියන්නේ දකුණු වම මාරු වෙලා හැම පැත්තෙම තියෙන internal external party you want to identify. Vendors කියන්නේ විකුණුම්කරුවෝ. We issue the purchase order. That මැද තියෙන company එක. Company is the accounting information system of SNS කියන්නේ company එක. company එකේ accounting information system එකෙන් you issue the purchase order to the vendor. vendor goods and services එවනවා. vendor invoice එක එවනවා. අපිට vendorට payment කරනවා. customer order එක company එකට දෙනවා. company good and service customerට දෙනවා. customerට invoice එකක් යවනවා. customerගේ payment එක ගන්නවා. the relationship you develop with both external parties. AIS එකක් ඕන. මැද එකක් නැතුව මේ relationship එක we can't build. Always business mean internal external interaction. AIS is the mechanism, system. AIS is a system. Accounting information is a system. Input, process, output system එකක්. Maintain the right in between, maintain the internal and external parties interaction. හොඳට මේක අල්ල ගන්නවා. මාතෘකාව හොඳට හිතන්න ඕන මාතෘකාව. එතකොට employees, labor and service given to the company, company given wages and salaries and commission. Investors, they are the people who use the capital, invest funds. You pay dividends to the investors and accounting information system, further giving financial statement to understand the company's performance. Creditors, they are giving loans and you pay loans payment system එකක් නැත්තම් මේව කරන්න බෑ. මැද එකක් ඕන. ඒක whether it's a computer system or a manual system, you need to keep the interaction between internal and external. It's a compulsory. And management reports, financial statement, budgets, accounting entities, banks, මේක පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න. Deposits, withdrawal, regulation tax, tax reports. මේ ඔක්කොගෙම මේ තියෙන in and out. එහෙන් දෙනවා, මෙහෙන් ගන්නවා, මෙහෙට දෙනවා, එහෙන් ගන්නවා. මැද system එකක් ඕන වෙනවා. Otherwise, no one can't do the job. That is very carefully you want to understand. This is very, very essential. Right? Interaction between AIS and internal external parties. Now you can see based on these processes, in accounting is very structured system. Accounting can be structured, right? Hinda commonly, especially ERP system and all, we have identified basic business processes. ලෝකේ කියන්නේ මේවා නැවත සිදුවෙන routine kind of business processes. Our ERP system have all these modules. They call modules. SAP system, they have all these modules. These modules mean all processors. Modules are processors. Similar processing. We identify few modules, few processors, but those all transaction in the business organization can categorize these 6 processes. Financing cycle. That's called cycle. Financing cycle. ඒකේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? Financing cycle මේක හොඳට අල්ලගන්න මේ chart එක හරිය වැදගත් චිත්‍රය. Give cash, get cash. ඒ කියන්නේ investors giving a money, right? You get the money, right? Human resource නැත්නම් payroll cycle. Give cash, get labor. Employees ලගේ labor effort එක දෙනවා අපි පඩි ගෙවනවා give cash, get labor. Expenditure cycle. Procurement වගේ purchasing වගේ. You give cash, you buy goods, raw material and goods. මැද තියෙනවා general ledger reporting system එක අපි report කරන්න අපේ double entry system එක. Production cycle, very important. Give labor, give raw materials, you produce, get finished goods. Revenue cycle, most important selling part. Give goods, get cash. Those are the cycle we call processes, common processes. Even finance, even acquiring goods, even selling, even producing, even labor, all are we divided everything in the organization transaction mechanism. We group under 6 processes. These 6 processes are one-to-one related. These processes are subsystems. Every subsystem is connected to another subsystem, right? This all now say finance cycle connected to the revenue cycle. And finally, general ledger for reporting part. Expenditure finance cycle connected to the expenditure cycle. Expenditure cycle get connected to the production cycle, especially raw material. They are connected to the revenue cycle. Production නැත්තම් revenue හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ, විකුණන්න බඩු නැහැනේ. මේ හැම එකක්ම labor නැත්තම් භාණ්ඩ නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්න බෑ. Expenditure cycle එකේ raw material නැත්තම් production කරන්න බෑ. Production නැත්තම් භාණ්ඩ නැතුව විකුණන්න බෑ. වික්කේ නැත්තම් finance cycle එකට මුදල් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ඔක්කොම connected. Funds, labor, data, raw material මේක තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන දේ. මුළු AISම කියන්නේ මේ එක එක ගැඹුරෙන් ඉගෙන ගැනීම. AIS mean you study all these business processes in depth. We call these business processes cycle. Revenue cycle, expenditure cycle, human resource cycle, general ledger reporting cycle, production cycle and revenue cycle. That is what we name. Basic business processes mean transaction between the business organization and external parties, fundamentally involve a give-get exchange relationship. These basic business processes are revenue cycle. අපේ revenue cycle එක කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? ගැඹුරින්. Major activities in the revenue cycle: receive and answer customer inquiries, take customer orders and enter them into the AIS system. You get the customer order. Approve the credit limits, credit sales. Check inventory availability. You need a stock to sell. If not, initiate back orders for goods out of stock. Later you can sell, initiate back orders. Pick and pack customer orders from warehouse. Ship or deliver customer or perform service. Bill customer for a good ship or a service perform. Bill කරන්න ඕන. Update sales and accounts receivable. Receive customer payments and deposit them into the bank. Update or reduce accounts receivable. Look under each Revenue cycle have so many activities. Handle sales return, discount, allowances and bad debts, prepare management reports, send appropriate information to the other cycles. Now you can understand how each cycle, each cycle you have a lot of major activities. You want to study all these major activities of each cycle, then you are well known about the organization, everything in the organization. You learn documentation for each cycle. You know the processes of each cycle. You know the controls of each cycle. You study the frauds which can arise each cycle. එන්න ගැඹුරෙන් මේ cycle 6 ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. එතකොට AIS එක full ඕන තැනක ලෝකයේ any division එක whether you are in the revenue cycle, whether you are in expenditure cycle, මොන cycle එකක ඔයා වැඩ කළත්, you know the documents, you know the flow of documents, you know the frauds which can arise in the cycle, how to control, right? And how the IT comes and make it more efficient. Everything you learn. විශාල තොගයක් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා මේ cycle. මේවා තමයි business processes කියලා කියන්නේ. Business revenue cycle is a one business process. ඕනම ආයතනයක් බඩු විකුණන්න ඕන. Expenditure cycle. ඒගොල්ලන්ට අමුද්‍රව්‍ය වහන්න ගන්න ඕන විකුණන්න. Expenditure cycle. Under that, request goods and service be purchased. Prepare, approve and send purchase order to vendors. Documents ඉගෙන ගන්න purchase vendor, invoice vendor. ඕනම accountant කෙනෙක් වෙන එක nothing ඕගලන්ට මේව ඉගෙන ගත්තට පස්සේ. You know the documents, you know අපි මේව හොඳට undergraduates ලට උගන්වනවා. They are in the full knowledge. මොකද accountant කෙනෙක් වෙන්න බැහැ if you don't know the processes, if you don't know the documents which are relevant to each cycle, right? ඒව නැතුව අපිට බෑ purchase order එක කොතනින් දෙන්නේ කොහෙටද යන්නේ. You should want to know, right? Invoices you want to know. මේව නැතුව බැහැ කවදාකවත් ඉගෙන ගන්න. accounting කියන එකේ basic things අපිට කවදාකවත් ගිහිල්ලා net present value IRR calculate කරන්න හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. We have to study the basic accounting system very well first. Later you become a CFO, you can do that. Receive goods and service and complete receive report. Store goods, receive vendor invoice, update accounts payable, approve vendor invoice for payment. The invoice කොහෙන්ද එන්නේ raise කරන්නේ system you will study. Pay vendors for goods and service. Update account මේවා තමයි job. Those are the activities you are do. Your processes are this. All input, process, output. These are the system. Right? Handle purchase, return, discount, allowances. Prepare management reports. And every cycle you have to send appropriate information to the other cycle. Human resource and payroll cycle. All employee related. Recruit, hire, train new employees, evaluate employee performance, promote employees, discharge employees, update payroll records, collect and validate time, attendance and commission data, prepare and disburse payroll, calculate and disburse tax and benefit payments, prepare employee and management reports, send appropriate information to other side. Product cycle. Design products, forecast plan, schedule production, raw materials, request raw material for production, manufacture products, store finished product, accumulate cost of products manufacture, prepare management reports, and send appropriate information to other side. Finance, forecast cash needs, sell stock securities to investors, borrow money from lenders, banks, pay dividends to investors, investors to lender, retire debt, prepare management reports, send appropriate information to other side. Now I will come back to the many things I teach to you. Systems I teach to you. Subsystems I teach to you. Data, information, decision making I talk to you. And small case study, business processes I talk to you. Information needed to make business processes I talk to you. Then after I talk to you, cycles, main cycle, which are relevant to the business processes and major activities in each cycle, right? And relationship among the cycle, right? There are 6 cycles. Now I come back to, right? AIS, Accounting Information System. It can be manual or computerized, but nowadays everything is computerized. This is AIS. You have a data, you enter the data to the computer, that computer make information. This information you enter to the AIS system, the user will get this information and make decision. Data, all data, just data, you convert to the information. Information users use for making decision. How does an AIS add value? Because good AIS system, you can make strong decision, quick decision than the competitor can do. Suppose one company doing manual AIS to my middle part, who connected the external and internal parties. Suppose some organization, internal external parties connected. AIS system weak. Some organization very quick. Quick organization can do efficient service than the non-quick organization. A well thought out AIS can add value through effective and efficient decision. Having effective decision means quality decision. Having efficient decision means reducing cost for decision making. Right? That is what AIS is important, especially for a good decision making, effective decision making you can do. Why study accounting information system? That's very popular today. It's a foundation or a fundamental to accounting. Not like old accounting. Old accounting very similar to bookkeeping. Now it is out. Bookkeeping type of accounting is old and out. Now accounting is a very strong profession which provide more, right, more effective decision to the world. Accounting is an information providing activity. So accountants need to understand how the system that provides that information is designed, implemented, and used. How financial information is reported. How information is used to make decisions. Other today's accountants, accounting information very essential to make decisions. Make decision. This is very essential one. The accounting information is a system. I told you it's a input, process, output system. Lecture again, right? Okay, this a system approach is very essential. Accounting is an information providing activity. So accountants need to understand how the system that provides the information is designed, implemented. Information सब design करना, implement करना, use करना, financial decision ගන්න ඒකට අද AIS ඕන. AIS තව ඕන වෙනවා සමහර professional courses වලට. Other accounting courses focus on how the like CPA information is provided and used. AIS course places great emphasis on how data is collected and transformed. This data you convert to the information. How the availability, reliability, data, information or the characteristic. Reliability, unbiased, available, accuracy. Those are you have to data you have to ensure. Otherwise, the data is the one you convert to the information. Data is unreliable. Data is not outdated. Data is outdated, not accuracy. Your information also getting bad. AIS course are not dumb. Make ganang hadanda ne. Normally accounting courses we have many calculation. Here no calculation, more philosophical, theoretical and practical aspect. The skills are critically career success. Auditors want AIS. Tax accountants want AIS. Private industry, not-profit making also use AIS. Management consultants, right? System developers need AIS. Other system courses focus on design, implementation of information system, database, expert system, and telecommunication. AIS topics impact corporate strategy and culture. Now, all organization they have their corporate culture. That means the organization environment, how people are working, and they are sharing information, making decision making. The AIS also connected to the corporate culture today and strategies. You want strategies better than the competitor. Otherwise, you are going down. And AIS is influenced by organizational strategy. Strategy is the overall goal of the organization hopes to achieve or increase profitability. Always strategy, you have to make a strategy that the competitor do. Or before competitor do, you can develop a strategy and attract more customers and retain with the customers. That is the strategy is very important. AIS giving a good information to make good strategy because AIS always linked with external internal parties. Once an overall goal is determined, an organization can determine action needed to reach their goals and identify the informational requirements necessary to measure how well they are going to obtain that goal. Now you can see this chart. AIS is a focal one. They connected with the ICT, information technology. An organization want to make strategy, then AIS provide the information, good decision to make strategy that the computer can do because you link external internal parties. Organization culture, people who are working in the corporate system, that is also linked with AIS. AIS design is affected by information technology, the organization strategy, and the organization culture. Information technology affects companies' choice of business strategy, perform cost benefit analysis on ICT, IT changes. You need to understand business strategy. Although culture affects the design of the AIS, it is also true that AIS affects culture by altering the dispersion and availability of information. Then finally, I will come to the role of the AIS in the value chain. Role of the AIS in the value chain. Now you can understand. The objective of most organization is to provide value to their customers. Our main objective, where you work right now in different companies, you have to provide value to the customers. Value එකක් දුන්නේ නැත්නම් customer gone, customer you can't retain the customer go to another company. Giving value is very important. There are different values. What does it mean deliver value? We'll see some example, right? This is some joke, right? About the what is value and not. What is the value added and how do you convert into dollars? Somebody asking, right? Although adding value is a commonly used buzzword. Buzzword කියන්නේ හරියට use කරන වචනයක්. In its genuine sense, it means making the value of the finished component, your final products, greater than the sum of its parts. It means AIS is the value chain. කියන්නේ අපිට දැන් මොකක් හරි අලුත් value එකක් customer දුන්නේ නැත්නම් you can't survive. AIS always helps us to make some value. Value එකක් කියන්නේ ඒකේ strategy එකක් තමයි. Right? අලුත් දෙයක් අලුත් value chain shows how different activities within an organization provide value to customer. In value chain is a very important strategy mapping activity. These activities are primary and supported. Value chain එකේ activities කොටස් දෙකක් තියෙනවා. There are two types of primary activities and supportive activities. Primary activities provide direct value to the customer. Supportive activities enable primary activities to efficient and effective. Primary activities directly connected to the customer. Supportive activity directly connected to the primary activities, that mean indirectly connected to the customer. Supportive activities are firm infrastructure, human resources, technology, and purchasing. I think where you work, say you are in IT man, you are in human resource, you are in firm infrastructure, you are in purchasing department. Those are supportive activities. Even accounting also coming under supportive activities. Primary activity means receiving and storing materials. We call inbound logistics. Stocks, operation, manufacturing and repackaging. Outbound logistics, distribution and shipping. Primary activity. Today, most of the company outsource in primary activities, logistic work. Marketing and sales, advertising and selling. Service, repair and maintenance. AIS එක මේ primary activities are directly linked to the customer. Inbound logistic, bound logistic operations. Those are final products go to the customer. And final product එක primary activities වලට help කරනවා supportive activities. Supportive activities are linked to the primary activities. Primary activities are directly linked to the customer. AIS is the value chain. AIS is the value chain, accounting information system. We give raw material suppliers, manufacturer, distributor, retailer, customer. We provide information, each item, each section, right, to perform their job. Then my job is done. You have a few readings, right? Within this week, I will hand over the test book to the Kalhari, most probably on Monday. Then she will upload the test book to the, what do you call that, LMS. Then you can download and read the first chapter, right? First chapter test book එක මම දෙන්නම්. You can remind to the Kalhari, the assistant, coordinator assistant, right? What you learned today, if you understand all these things clear, maybe take a 1 hour and study yourself, it is better. System, goal conflict, goal concurrence. Goal concurrence means everybody working together to achieve the goal. Conflict can, there are certain issues among people, then you can't achieve the goal. System mean input, process, output. Data mean facts. you convert the data to the information, right? You use information technology or computer, mobile phone, all kind of things. Information overload mean more information than you require. Value of information mean always you need a good information, better information to make decision. Business processes are all very important. Now it's called cycle, revenue cycle, purchasing cycle, 6 cycles, and they are major activities, right? Business processes you can't do without information and decision, right? Transactions, very important. Transaction processing, give get relationship, all right? Business processes, cycle, you have a give get. You get money, give effort, labor, a human resource cycle. Revenue cycle, you get cash, you give goods. අපි බහන්ඩ විකුණනවා සල්ලි ගන්නවා. Give get exchange. All cycles are give get exchange. Then revenue cycle, expenditure cycle, production cycle, human resource payroll cycle, finance cycle, financing cycle, general ledger reporting system. Then accounting information system, data you convert to information. The users use information for decision making. Predictive analytics, value chain, and value chain you have primary activities closely directly connected to the customer, supportive activities directly connected to the primary activities, AIS support, right, for all primary and supportive both activities. It's add value to the organization. Supply chain, that's what I think you learned today, and this is what you want to study further and get some understanding and get a clear cut idea. This is, I feel, this is very essential in first topic. Any questions you have, you can ask right now before we wind up the session. Now your time. You have a few minutes to ask the question. I think we are getting close to the 10 o'clock, close to midnight as well, right? And maybe you are tired sometimes. You work today whole day. Even me also worked and came back to the home, right? Even you. But anyway, the sacrification is very worth. Sacrification is very worth. Suppose it is recorded in myself, I will hand over to the Kalhari my recording. If somebody else recorded, you can ask from him to get that. Anyway, its system say record, right? Recording is there. It's going on, I think, record, narration, animation, have something there. I assume I click recording button, right? It should be recorded. I don't know where it is. Any question? There are 48 students in the class today. Any questions you have, you can ask. If not, we will stop the class and we will meet physically one day, but not right now. Initially, we go for the online classes. Right. No questions, I feel. Nobody raised the hand. I don't know whether you're sleeping or you're listening. No any indicator. Anyway, I stop the class today. Good night to all of you. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Yes.